Well, pretty sure I just got the shit scared out of me by a deer. Holy fuck. That was my first time taking my skateboard for a little test drive and got absolutely fucking spooked. Well, hella, I'm not exactly sure how to put this, but I wanted to start creating content. What that means exactly, no idea. It's more of a personal passion project. Oh my god. What the fuck? Why am I getting harassed? It's her knocking. What the fuck is happening? That's besides the point. I want a creative outlet, and I've always kind of teetered towards videos to do that. It's usually gaming clips or like stupid edits of me and my friends, and I want this to be separate from that. I want to kind of document my own kind of, I guess, thought process, my own thinking, my mentality, because I've seen a lot of it on YouTube recently, and it's kind of inspiring to me. I like other people helping other people based off their experiences, and I kind of want to add to that. Not that I expect this to reach a lot of people or blow up, but I want to be able to express my point of view on things, because I feel I also have a fairly nuanced take on things, especially now, because holy fuck, so much has happened of recent. Sorry, I don't exactly have a nice place to show you or face to show. I want to stay anonymous, at least for now. I don't exactly want publicity, I don't think. Again, this is more of just a passion project. I just want to get my thoughts out there. Where to start's a great question. There's so many things I could talk about. Kind of like absolutely hits me into decision paralysis. I would say of recent, I've seen a phenomenon, a resurgence of this early 2000s, I guess, like punk culture coming back. And the main purpose of it, from what I could tell, is they want to express themselves. And I think that's a very good thing to be coming back. I like the early 2000s type of, I guess, culture. Shit like Jackass and whatnot. I think that's awesome. But I think it's almost to a fault at times. And don't get me wrong, I really think it was needed. I feel like culture as a whole is kind of moving towards I don't even know how to explain it. Not an individual, but almost like a company. And it's kind of a stupid way to explain it, but a merger, a giant boiling pot. Instead of people being themselves, they were fitting themselves into like a giant puzzle, molding themselves to be a puzzle piece. That's like probably the best way I could put it. And I don't think that's good either. But I fear that there may be a swing from that forcing yourself to be something you're not into a hyper individualization, which isn't exactly a horrible thing, but what it does is stagnates, I guess, cooperative behavior, wanting to understand other people's points of views, like sympathy, empathy. I feel that may take a hit, and people will start to be more selfish, and that's not necessarily, again, a bad thing. I think it's great to be selfish in its own fucked up regard. I often struggle with being selfish, and of recent this has been somewhat inspiring to be more selfish, to take a stand on what I want to do more, be more assertive in things I want. I'm the type of person who, I'm not exactly, to a certain extent, up until of recent, most of my life I've let people dictate decisions for me. Rather than going with my gut feeling, I let other people give me their point of view, and then I kind of take that as, like, I don't even know, like, I take it over my own opinion. And honestly, I've learned a lot from that, and I think it's a good thing that I did do it. I've learned how to understand other people's points of views. I've understand where other people come from, what other people want, their value systems, and I think overall it helps me to empathize and sympathize with other people much better than other people can. Issue is I can't empathize and sympathize with myself, and I kind of stagnated my own personal growth, which I don't think is a good thing at all. And it really started, or no, I wouldn't say it started, but it was catalyzed because of COVID. In COVID, I was isolated. And I think if this hyper-individualism had started then, I may not have had this problem. Fuck it, I probably would have, but maybe not to the same extent. Rather, I kind of shut myself in, and rather than, I guess, expressing myself, taking time for myself, and enjoying my time, I just poured it all into other people in a time where I didn't have even the mental energy to take care of myself, which is so infuriating looking back, because I'm forsaking myself, which is such a disgusting thing to do. And I could give you guys like a pipeline of, I guess, my point of view on things. I'll start from when I was a wee boy. I was very much into, when I was like a toddler, like 2, very much into Thomas and the Train Engine. It was my favorite fucking thing ever. I used to build giant, like, railroad systems all over my house. We had a 2-story house. My grandparents lived downstairs, and I used to have, quite literally, tracks all throughout my house. And I used to have trains that would go and not hit each other. I had a system. I'm not gonna say I'm autistic. I don't think I'm autistic. That's kind of gay, but I don't think I'm neurotypical in the normal sense. I definitely have something off there, but I'll make up for it because I'm a genius. I learned things, I guess, like you could say I mask very well, but even as like a literally like 2-year-old toddler, I had working railroad systems in my house. When I was around 3, I discovered Sonic, and that kind of fits with the autistic trope I just displayed earlier. Yeah, Sonic was my like favorite shit ever. I ride or died Sonic for a really long time. But around, when I was like 4 years old, my parents had cousins come over. I'd never met them. This is my first time ever talking to them, meeting them, even meeting like other people. My family was very, I guess, sheltered with me. They didn't want me, I wouldn't say they didn't want me to go make friends and socialize outside of like preschool, but they didn't want to socialize. At least my mom didn't. My dad probably would have, but he was working. So this is my first interaction with other people. The only other people I've ever talked to have been my family. I hold their opinions in super high regard. I take their word as like the Bible. Like, I'm not religious, by the way, but I hold what they said to such a high regard, because I even then knew that they were smarter than me. They had more wisdom, experience. They knew what they were talking about more than I could. Issue is, my cousins, mind you, there was a girl 2 years older than me, a boy 4 years older than me. They weren't smarter than me. They had more experience, but they weren't this. They shouldn't have been held to the same high regard as my parents, my family. Even though they were close immediate family that I had been with up until then. Issue is, they bullied me, and it's such a shitty thing to I don't know, I feel like a pussy saying that, but I was a 4-year-old kid, and they bullied the shit out of me. They used to beat my ass for liking Thomas and liking Sonic, and beat the shit out of me. And my parents didn't notice, I'm sure they cared if they knew, but I don't think they noticed or believed me, which is kind of concerning, and I guess that also probably fed into it. I feel like I was being pushed to the side, but I got dead ass pummeled for liking Sonic and Thomas. That, as a little kid, kind of set the standard that I shouldn't show other people what I like, or even I shouldn't express what I like. I shouldn't enjoy what I like. I felt wrong for liking Sonic. I felt wrong for liking Thomas. And that's such a dangerous thing. And I didn't want to sound full of myself when I said I was a genius earlier. I learn things extremely fast. I learn it. My brain overcompensates. It's always going. It's always looking for meaning in things. And I think as a little kid, I over-adapted. And rather than... rather than overcoming, I accepted that and tried to use that to my advantage, and to use that in my advantage, I guess suppress the things I like, the things I want to say, the things I want to do, because I learned I'd get my ass beat for it by other people. And looking back on it now, I think that destroyed me. I struggle with saying what I mean, saying what I feel, expressing what my interests, my likes, what I want to do. If I don't want to do something, sometimes I'll say yes just so other people don't have to feel the same way I felt. And I think that's, I didn't think about that before, but I think I often give in so other people don't have to feel like how I felt. And I also don't think that's a good thing, dude. It's important to be able to take and give. And you can't just give and not take. And if you're not giving to yourself, it's just a losing game. And that's kind of what I did. Once I hit kindergarten, I still like Sonic. Thomas, I couldn't even look at, or even pretended I liked it. I couldn't even bring myself to admit it to anybody else, because I was afraid I'd get my ass kicked. And that's such a stupid thing, even looking back now, but I was at a different maturity level compared to other kids. I understood things at a much higher level, and at the same time lower level. I had no experience. I didn't know what other kids were like. So my only experience was my cousins. So that destroyed me. I didn't exactly know what to do. I stopped expressing my interest in trains and sciencey things, because part of the reason my cousins beat me is because I was better at math than them. I was just better at school. I was smarter. I knew crazy facts. I knew cool dinosaur things. And I got beat for that because, again, they were jealous. And I'm not angry at my cousins. They're not bad people. I love my cousins. They grew up in a really tough environment, and they were very much jealous of me and the opportunities I had, the things I had. the intelligence I had, and they took it out on me, and it broke me. I lost all of my self-worth. And the issue is, rather than trying to build it up, I tried to fill a void. I tried to fill that void of feeling left out because they beat me for being different, gifted, having, I don't want to say weird, but different interests than they did. So to try to fill that void, I would try to be friends with everybody, except I was this little kid who felt outcast already because mentally I'm older than everybody else my age, and they all still piss their pants and scratch each other. I felt left out no matter what, and all I wanted to do was fill that void. Luckily, I had met one of my best friends, even to this day, Olivia. She's awesome. She shared basically all the same interests as me, and I was blessed to have met her. Played Pokemon, so many Wii games together, slept over her house more than I slept over at my house, but awesome. Issue is that didn't fill the void. Instead of accepting myself, building myself, I kind of saw that as, okay, that's one like hole in myself somewhat filled. But when you're filling a void, there's no like a bottom. It just kind of falls out, if that makes sense. It doesn't stick. I'm still sad, insecure, feel left out, feel different. And part of that, I think I adopted into my own personality. I developed somewhat of an antisocial personality, even to this day, to a certain extent. I don't like reaching out first. I'm terrified of rejection, feeling of I'm not wanted. I wait for other people to reach out to start plans. I don't start conversations, and as of recent, I've really tried to hammer down on that and fix that and develop better habits. But for 90% of my life, I have essentially been waiting, letting other people dictate my life for me, dictate my plans, dictate what I'm gonna do. And you lose control over yourself, and kind of feeds into this need for constant stimulation and like dopamine, which isn't good. I learned the hard way. Luckily, I was quick enough to realize it, and I think I stopped myself from going down a huge rabbit hole, a slippery slope per se. Where I am now, only going up, very happy. Throughout elementary school, I was the smart kid. I would literally play video games, watch YouTube all class, get A's, perfects on everything. And I wouldn't even know how, because I genuinely wasn't listening. I had no idea what was going on. And luckily for me, again, that's not neurotypical behavior. I am able just to understand things passively by listening, and, well, not listening. As long as I'm by proxy, it just goes in my brain somewhere, and I'm able to pull it out. And that's an amazing thing. But at the same time, it's not. I hear every little snicker everybody says, and I don't realize it. I hear everything. I feel everything. I understand everything everybody is saying. So to a certain extent, half of what I'm learning, what I'm thinking, isn't even my own thoughts, if that makes sense. I'm constantly engraving other people's ideals into me. And it's tough to deal with, because in some regard, that's good. I have such a balanced, mindset to things. I understand other people freakishly well. I'm able to predict outcomes freakishly well, but it's not a win, I don't think. I'd rather be stupid, because then that brings you to overthinking and getting choice paralysis, lost in thought, anxiety. I'd rather just not think and do. And that's part of it. I wanted to make this video because I just want to get my thoughts out there in a medium that's easy to do. It's such a tantalizing idea that people want to understand you, but it's not exactly the case. People want to understand themselves. Most people don't even understand themselves. I don't. I do to a certain extent. I put a lot of time to thinking about myself from a third person point of view rather than a first person point of view, which I don't think is very helpful, but helps me understand what I look like to other people, how I come across, things I do, things I should do. And overall, it's a beautiful thing that I was able to even, I guess, come out of that. It was a stupor. I was lost spectating my own life. What I wouldn't wish in my worst enemy is spectating your own life. Not being able to live, understand, even now, I struggle with it sometimes. You dictate everything that happens every second. You have to be the one to take charge. And I think a lot of creative outlets is you taking charge. It is you doing what you want, saying what you need to say, saying what you want to do. My creative outlets when I was growing up: video games, board games, comedy, and sports, playing around with friends and whatnot. When I got to 4th and 5th grade, I did parkour, which was absolutely amazing. That was some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. I did parkour at it was called Parkour Ninja Warrior Base Camp, I think. If I stuck with that, if COVID didn't happen, I would have been on American Ninja Warrior Jr. That, I would have killed to be on that show. That shit's so awesome. And I would have been on it, and I think I could have won. I was an absolute demon at it. I had so many trophies and medals from winning competitions and whatnot. But, you can't win them all. Not being able to go and do that kind of destroyed me. I lost a part of who I am. I'm a very competitive person. And part of this kind of wraps around to why I think I was such a lonely little kid, is I saw other people being happy, other people talking, having friends, having people who want to understand them. And I don't want to be this whole, I don't have anybody who wants to understand me. There's a lot of people who want to understand me. I'm not lonely, per se. It's just I didn't realize that they were even in front of me. I was so competitive that I saw other people being happier than me, and I took it as a loss. Now, even then, to a certain extent, I didn't exactly take it as a loss. I took it as, I need to do something better. I need to do something different. I need to change something. And rather than changing myself, making myself happier so other people understand, feel that energy coming from me, I reach out, I make new friends, I force myself to try to fit in, wait for other people to come up to me, make myself seem more appealing. And it worked to a certain extent. I made a lot of friends. I was fairly popular towards the end of elementary school. I was friends with all the popular kids, friends with all the sporty boys, the smart girls. But I never, besides Olivia, besides my neighbor, Jack, also awesome, I didn't really have anybody to confide in. Even then, I didn't confide in them. I didn't feel safe to confide in them. I wish I did more. I wish I built that experience of explaining how I feel, because I think even now, I stunted myself. I kind of suck at talking about how I feel. Not kinda, I really do. And I'm 18 now. It's depressing. And I think that ties us into the next best point is, after elementary school, 6th grade for me, COVID happened. And COVID fucked up everything for me. I went from being this somewhat sporty, and mind you, I wasn't exactly happy in 5th grade. I was getting depressed, fat. I felt, again, left out. I was so in my own head, so we're caught up about the future. Mind you, just to put this in perspective, as a 4-year-old, I had a mental breakdown because I realized I was going to die one day. And this haunted me for quite literally years. I would say haunted me up until 8th grade. Like, daily I would just, like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, what the fuck, and have mental breakdowns. I wouldn't tell anybody I had mental breakdowns, because I would just sit there with a straight face, but underneath I'd be having crazy mental breakdowns. I'm insanely good at masking my emotions, and I don't think that makes it any better. That's also something I often don't understand, is other people can't mask their emotions, can't control their emotions, and I often see them getting emotional as them trying to be manipulative. And it's such a weird thing, because why would showing emotions be manipulative? I mean, to a certain extent it is. You're looking for a reaction from other people, but I guess I take that as being manipulative because I could control it, and I don't want other people reacting to me based off my emotions, but rather based off my character. Even though I don't know if there's a difference there. Holy fuck, it's snowing, and I'm not dressed at all for the snow. I'm fucking freezing. But I still want to continue the video. But yeah, I'm an insanely bad overthinker, and honestly, I don't know if there's even... Oh, there is a way to fix it. It's just you don't think. You have to understand that everything that could go wrong is a simple risk, and I know that. I'm literally top 1% of so many different online games. I'm insanely good at sports. I'm insanely good at strategy games. Like, I understand the risk reward. I know that. The issue is, when it comes to talking to other people in relations, I don't like relationships. It just doesn't click to me. And for some reason, most of my life, I've been scared to even put myself out there. I didn't even feel like I deserved to have a relationship with, not even like a romantic relationship, just a relationship, like somebody who understands me, someone who wants to understand me, someone who wants to be around me. I didn't feel even worthy of that, besides like Olivia. Olivia was, again, fucking awesome. And again, some of it was in the environment I grew up in. Most of the kids there were like depressed. Teachers were kind of shitter. Programs taught bad messages, and it's just a bad environment. Most of my old friends are drug addicts now, and whatever. I moved, so I'm good, don't worry. I think that it ties back. It's so important to instill the right messages in kids nowadays, because they think for themselves based off of what they're fed. You are what you eat, and they're eating everything at a faster rate than anybody would probably expect. They have more neurons firing, the highest neuroplasticity possible, and they're developing themselves, and they need to understand that their worth. And it's not like people aren't told that they're worth something. It's that they're not shown it. They're shown it through participation trophies. Everybody knows participation trophies are fucking stupid. They're gay, okay? But what they're not is a replacement for real substance. As a kid, I would often be told not to be full of myself, and I would often put up a front that I was full of myself, because to a certain extent I was. I'm confident that I'm smarter than other people. The thing is, besides that, I was not confident at all. I had a false ego, and people would see that and break me down even further, saying I shouldn't even be proud that I'm like smarter than other people. And again, I would hold other people's opinions over mine, and it wasn't good. So around 6th grade, when COVID hit, I was at an old-time slump, and then I got stuck in my own house. Fattest I've ever been, saddest I've ever been, and I'm just playing Fortnite. My one redeeming quality is that I'm so fucking good at Fortnite that I'm untouchable. Issue is my PC barely runs it at 60 FPS and my internet's shit. Okay? My one goal throughout all of middle school was to go pro in Fortnite. And I almost did. I had top 1,000 placements, top 100 placements, but never got any money because anytime I'd get to an end game, I would have 15 FPS and 200 ping. That shit's impossible. What the fuck is that? Is that a deer in their backyard? What the fuck? Okay, well, I don't know. That's beyond me. I don't give a fuck. Dude, that shit looks like a creepypasta. I actually don't like that. Alright, well. That's cool. Alright. That freaked me out. Alright, sorry for losing my train of thought. 6th grade. Fat, depressed, Fortnite. Yeah. I was fucking insane. I ended up developing a really bad habit in 4th grade. And again, this is partially because I was so mature and I was exploratory of these adult topics, because as a little kid, I felt I deserved to know them because I was smart. I didn't let myself in with the other little kids who enjoyed what I considered somewhat stupid. Of course, I enjoyed watching YouTube videos and don't get me wrong, I love YouTube videos and YouTubers and whatnot, and that consumption of other ideals, which again probably isn't the best thing, but I'm very happy I did it because I'm able to turn into something great. I ended up watching porn and like jerking off in 4th grade, and it wasn't just once, it wasn't just twice, I did it a fuck ton. It was one of the things, like a vice. It calmed me down, it felt awesome, and I jerked off all the time. And from 4th grade to like 9th grade, I just fucking jerked off every day. And my mom walked in on me jerking off in like 4th grade. My dad took away all my shit in 6th grade because I was like jacking off, not even like hiding it. Like it was bad. I was so depressed and like in COVID, and it just got to the point I was just like I wouldn't say I was jacking off in public, but like I wasn't even like taking precautions. Like I wasn't locking doors, and eventually like my mom knew, and my mom's very chill with things. And I fucking hate that she knows, like knew. It was fucking disgusting. I felt disgusted in myself. But in 6th grade, when my dad found out, he took away all my computer shit, and I was on the borderline going pro in Fortnite. Took away all my computer shit. I got fatter and depressed because I was just stuck in my room, literally not able to do anything. And I just literally ate all day and watched TV all day and just got fat, sad, depressed, like borderline suicidal. I was so fucking suicidal all of 6th to like 9th grade. And the only reason I didn't do it is because I had somewhat of an ego. I'm competitive with myself, and I think killing yourself is a pussy way to go out. And that's what kept me alive. And thank God I did that. I'll continue explaining. In 6th grade, I ended up moving. So I had no access to anything, and all my friends, I was leaving them. We ended up moving like 15 minutes away, shit town in New Jersey. It was temporary, but school was full of ghetto people, literally pencil stab. Oh, excuse me. Girls would sharpen pencils before class, like before lunch actually. And in the halls, they'd target one girl every day, and they'd just have group stabbings and just stab the fuck out of her. Like it's a random girl. And for what fucking reason, I have no idea, but they just did it. And mind you, this is 7th grade. I fat, depressed, lonely, and there's just fucking people stabbing each other. Okay? I didn't feel safe to do anything. So I just closed myself off even more. And eventually in 7th grade, I got my computer back and whatnot, and I was able to talk to my friends over Discord. We played Hypixel, and that kept me somewhat sane. But I refused to make friends because I felt like I was just going to lose everybody again. I didn't want to feel that same pain of losing everybody over again. But issue is eventually I opened up. Right at the very end of the school year, I made a new friend. I remember his name was Leo. Fucking awesome. Super nice kid. We played a bunch of games. Awesome. Issue is 8th grade, I'm gone. Over the summer, I move. I go to Pennsylvania. I haven't talked to that kid ever. And that's on me. I should have reached out. But at that time, I was so sad, depressed. The second I make a new friend, it's just over. Like, I don't even know, even now, like, such a fuck situation. And, like, my mentality was just so bad that I just got even fatter, even sadder. And, fuck. Like, I just lost myself. I didn't talk to anybody. Luckily, people talked to me, and I was, again, really good at video games, and I was a fairly funny person. I value my humor greatly, and people who talked to me thought I was funny, like, oh shit, you're really good at video games, and this is early, like, post-COVID, like, people are going back to school, so people were playing Fortnite still, and, like, really on that online era, and I was this fucking freak of nature who was insane at everything and funny. I still refused to make friends, and it was such a weird, I don't even understand why. Like, of course I understand why, because I was so scared of feeling that pain of losing all of my friends again. I'm a very sentimental person. I suck at showing it, suck at displaying it again, because I'm scared of expressing myself, but it gets to me. I value everybody greatly. And losing those people just hurts to me. And it's not like I've lost them, but I lost that connection to them. It's not the same. And in 8th grade, I met a whole new friend group. And I merged them again with my New Jersey friends over Discord. And we all played games together, and it was awesome. I didn't reach out. They reached out to me, and that was one of the most amazing things that they could have done. That honestly probably saved my life. I ended up making friends with somebody who changed my life multiple times. Over 8th grade, I didn't really do anything special. I started playing soccer, and I was fat, so I was slow. In elementary school, I was the fastest kid, like, by far. Freakishly fast. Parkour, I was freakishly fast and, like, athletic, but I got fat and slow. So in soccer, my confidence was absolute zero. I felt like an absolute loser. I didn't take care of myself. I didn't wear glasses. I'm basically blind without glasses. I didn't wear contacts, so I was playing soccer blind and fat. So I was absolute shit. People would make fun of me. But somehow I made a friend there, Nate Bowers. I'll bless up to Nate Bowers. He's awesome. One of my best friends ever. I would go around 8th grade most of the year doing nothing. I really didn't reach out to anybody, make any crazy self-improvement. I kind of just stagnated, and that's kind of the story of everything. Is I stagnated. After 5th grade, I stagnated, and it's such a sad thing to do as a young person. Stagnation's like the worst thing you could do. Now, I didn't exactly stagnate. I poured everything I had into Fortnite while foregoing mental health, my interests, like everything else, my friends. I just forgave, I don't even know if I can say that, everything. And it didn't make me happier. It didn't pay off. I mean, now I still play video games, and my aim's next level. Again, fucking insane at video games. But I don't think it was worth it. But I learned so many valuable lessons from it looking back now, but in the moment I just saw it as a waste of time, and I felt like a waste, and I felt worthless. my parents didn't really help either. They kind of just let me do my own thing, and I think that was one of the worst things they could have ever done. My parents are awesome people, super smart. My mom's super good at understanding other people, reading emotions, reading rooms, intuition, and it makes me really sad that she didn't do anything. But again, I can't blame her. My dad's not very in tune emotionally, but he's very wise. He's a lot of experience. He grew up in Colombia. He moved to the U.S., married my mom. He's very successful, very smart. He's an engineer. I got my intelligence from both of them, and then some. Thing is, they didn't really help at all. I think they actually made things worse. As a little kid, my mom would have moments where she would yell, scream at me, say I was the worst kid ever, and leave the house and say she was never coming back. And I used to actually, mind you, a little 4-year-old kid, that made me want to kill myself. From the ages of 3 to 6, this happened quite frequently, bi-monthly. And every time I'd believe her, I held her, again, word in high regard. I trusted her with my life. And anytime she said that, I just wanted to kill myself. And as a little kid, that's such a horrible thing. Again, that's kind of off topic, but it's just showing, I guess, some of my thought process. My mom was really good at taking me to things and trying to get me into things when I didn't want to, luckily. She got me into soccer. She got me into, she didn't get me into parkour, but she got me into karate before that. And it's tough, because a lot of the time I can't even blame my parents. I mask my emotions so well to the point where it's hard to even tell I was going through anything. And it's not like you couldn't tell. I was getting fat, my skin was horrible, I was sad I didn't do anything, and I used to do stuff. In elementary school, I was fairly popular. I used to have kids coming up, taking me out everywhere. But I was active, and I wasn't active anymore. I wasn't even close, and they didn't seem to care, and that kind of made it worse. Anytime I asked for anything, it was a no. And I talked to my dad recently about this, because I had a bit of a mental breakdown 18th birthday because of things we could get into another time. But my dad wanted to starve me, as he said. He doesn't do this with my little brother at all, but with me. And my brother doesn't have any of these problems, most of them at least. He wanted me to have hunger. He grew up in Colombia with almost bumfuck nothing. What he sees what I have as insanely overprivileged, and I'm ungrateful. I'm super grateful, and it's kind of insane to me that he even says that. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I don't ask for shit, and when I do, it's stuff I need. And when I get told no for stuff I need, that just demeans me even further. But his reasoning for saying no to all the stuff I ask for, if I ask for it, is because, again, he wants me to have hunger. He wants me to work for things. How I'm supposed to work for things as a little kid, I don't know. I mean, I used to do chores. I saved up 3 years of chore money for a shitty laptop that I told him I didn't want, but he wouldn't let me get another laptop or a computer that I actually did want. Again, my opinion, my choices were often pushed to the side, not respected, and that kind of made me just feel worthless. I didn't have nice clothes. I'm not saying I need nice fucking clothes, especially when you're growing. That's expensive just to get new clothes all the time, but we're fairly wealthy. I'm gonna be honest, we're very well off. As a little kid, I had personalized clothes. When I was growing up, middle school, even 5th grade, my clothes got ultra bland. It was nothing. I don't know, flashlight went off. It's just plain colored shirts, plain colored shorts, and that was it. Or plain colored hoodie, sweatshirt. And I didn't express myself my personality at all. And it destroyed me. It really did. And I never noticed that broke me down so much. It's important to be yourself, wear what you want, be what you want, and foregoing it for so long had detrimental effects on me, and I don't want other people to go down that path. I think the main takeaway, and I'm gonna cut this because my phone's about to die, I'm fucking freezing, it's snowing outside, and I don't have a jacket. Take action. Inaction results in stagnation. Stagnation is horrible. The worst thing you could be is nothing. Be something. And it's really not that hard to be something. Just do something. I want to learn how to skate. I haven't even started really. That was my first time taking it out for a spin, and I got fucking terrified by a deer. It's because I'm doing it at night, because I procrastinated it. But I'm doing it. And at the very least, I'm trying. I've off-put doing stuff for so long that executive function feels normal. And I just want to be able to take control of my life again. And as of recent, I have. But the issue is, I feel like I've lost a lot of time. Don't waste away what you have. It's short. And I'm not going to regret what I did, per se. I have incredible insight. I learned so many different things, so many life skills that other people couldn't even fathom. And because of that, I have a special skill set that I could apply. Make sure, at the very least, what you're doing gives you value, makes you happy, doesn't take away energy from you, makes you feel good. Even if it's a little thing, even if it's like a little toy, bring things into your life that bring you joy. Don't force yourself to change for other people. That's kind of gay. It's performative. You don't want to be performative for other people. You can be performative for yourself. Do what makes yourself happy. Be the coolest person to yourself. Again, I think that's the best way to put it. Be somebody you'd want to be around. Be literally the coolest person you could think of. Be that person. It's not that hard. All you have to do is put in a little bit of effort. Try. Just all the things, like all your interests. Get posters. Get figures. Read books. Watch videos on things you like. Learn about it. Get a hyperfixation. Oh, you're curious about something? Google it. Do stuff. The whole world's in front of you. You have literally so much, and I think that contributes to it. You get lost in making the decision. You don't have to wait for things to be perfect. Just do it. And it's really sad. I feel that a lot of people get stuck in that, and a lot of people don't understand what they want because they're just force-fed things. They're given a plan. We are logical creatures. We like plans, we like schedules, but we're not predetermined to have a set plan. And trying to force yourself to plan out the next 5 years when something could happen tomorrow that changes your life forever, it's such a stupid thing. And I hate it. I actively do everything I can to stay away from planning in the future. And that's not exactly the best thing either.